Good morning, Buita Binafi, Ciao Ciao, Mucho Gusto. It's that morning time to start the morning grind, time to receive your daily dose of motivation and inspiration. Welcome to the Empowered Lifestyle Radio Show with George Lopez and the Generation Next Realty team. Let's wake up and be empowered. As you know, this is George Lopez, co-founder of Generation Next Realty team of Keller Williams, where we help you to buy, sell, and invest in real estate. You can call us at any time at 757-614-1027. Alongside me is my beautiful wife, Shemaine.
Good morning.
She is the co-founder of Carrot Omni Media, where she helps you to make your brand human. Good morning, baby.
Good morning, babe.
How are you?
Very, very, very good.
I'm glad.
Listen, I like your good morning. So you were speaking what, two other languages?
You know, I try to, this is the first time that we mix it up and, bring in different languages. I usually speak it in English, but today I went different.
Right, I understand. So what are those two languages?
Well, Buita Binafi is Garifuna. That's the culture that we belong to. Cha Shan is Asian.
Okay.
Buenos Dias is Hispanic. It's Spanish.
Okay, all right. Okay, so yesterday was International Women's Day. So it's a good follow-up, right?
It is.
Well, I'm excited because today is Listening Tuesday, so we typically talk about real estate and reach out to our real estate partners and get them on the Empowered Lifestyle Radio Show. And again, the Empowered Lifestyle Radio Show is really about bringing information that will provide empowerment to our community, that will empower us in it by having information, getting knowledge, having resources, and so forth. All of those things make a big difference in the empowerment of ourselves and of our community. And so this morning we have Miss Realtor, Janet Nation with us. Yes, that is actually her last name, Nation. And we have her with us this morning, and she's going to be talking with us about being a woman in the market of real estate and in the New York area. But one of the things I wanted to just say about Janet is that, Janet is also with Keller Williams, which is the firm that we work with. But she's also a partner that we are hoping to work with in New York. We've actually looked for opportunities to work with her in New York. So that's also great. So this is a great opportunity for those that are watching to know that for those that know us or that know her, definitely reach out to Janet because she is doing some awesome things. And we're going to get into details about that. Now, this is also Women's History Month. And so we are celebrating women. And we are acknowledging women and highlighting women that we know are doing some awesome things within the community, not only for the community, but also for themselves and their family. And so this is one of the reasons why we have her on the show this morning. So I am just going to ask you, baby, to just read her bio very quickly. And then we're going to get into the conversation. All
right. With 8 years as a seasoned real estate salesperson, Janet Nation offers both an outstanding level of real estate knowledge and an exceptional level of professionalism. She currently holds her license at Keller Williams Greater Nassau in Garden City, New York, where she was also a member of the Agent Leadership Council for her first 2 out of 3 years with Keller Williams.
Awesome.
A top producer and as a buyer's agent, Janet has developed strong negotiation skills when talking to lenders and in turn has used that flair to help negotiate favorable terms for her clients. As a listing agent, Janet has the ability to critique a home the same way a buyer would. She then prepares her sellers accordingly for a timely sale. People trust Janet with their single largest assets. It's a responsibility she takes very seriously. She focuses and enjoys building relationships and selling homes.
Awesome. Beautiful. Yes, impressive bio. And I love that you focus on what you do for your clients. That is so very powerful. So how did you get into real estate?
Well, what happened was I was always the type of person that did something in addition to my 9 to 5. And I just ended my business I had a small exporting business that had come to an end. And I was also in the process of selling my first home. and purchasing another home. And I just really like loved the experience. And I used two completely different agents for the transactions, one agent for the seller to sell my home and the other one to purchase my home. And I saw the difference in their style and their knowledge and their professionalism. And I kind of like, I just remember saying to myself, I could do this, you know, and I'm going to do this. And I set a goal for myself. I said, when I sell my home, the following June, I was going to go for my real estate license. So that's what I did. And I wanted to model the behavior of the agent that was actually selling my home, because I just loved his style, and he was really like the model that I use for my real estate career.
Is awesome. That
Mhm.
is such a, such a beautiful thing for you to say,
Mhm.
but it is also such a great recommendation. They say the way to acknowledge someone is to really truly follow their style, and that is just such a beautiful way to just acknowledge just the level of service that you receive by modeling your business after that. I hope he realizes that, and I hope he's still in the business
No,
making.
he isn't actually. He was out of business years ago. He moved on to another state, and him and his wife created whatever business that they were doing. But he is the reason. He is the reason why I got into real estate.
That is awesome. That is awesome. So you hold your license with Keller Williams now, and have you ever been in other brokerages in the past?
Yeah, sure. Keller Williams is actually, I've been doing this for about 18 years now. So Keller Williams is my fourth brokerage. I've been with Century 21, I've been with Wycott, I've been with Sale and Home Realty. So I've been with the large franchise, and I've been with the mom and pop. So I've experienced both. So I've been with Keller Williams now for the past 3 years.
Okay. Janet, where do most of your business come from?
Right. So most of my business today really comes from referrals and repeat business. I mean, I'm going to say 99% of it come from that basis. The rest of it may come from they found me online or from an open house, but typically that's where I get my business from. And that was really just that was how that happened. Really was a few years ago I participated in a program that taught you how to do exactly that, and I was at 50% at that point. And then after doing the program and learning how to nurture the people that I had serviced before, that's how I was able to get up to the 99%.
That is awesome. So, for those agents that are out there that maybe in other states that are listening or just wanting to up their game, would you share the program that you attended? Or
Yes, it's Brian Buffini.
Buffini?
Brian Buffini. I think Brian Buffini. I think it was called Working by Referrals.
Mm.
And that was naturally something I did anyway, but Brian's program taught me how to do it efficiently. So, but it was the best thing actually.
Mhm. So what would you say to an agent that is in the business right now? Because the right now, what we're seeing in the market is that listings are down, so inventory
Hmm.
is very low. And so, someone coming into this business right now, or who may be young in the business, may not have the referral network that you have, or the repeat business that you have. What would you tell them right now? Because obviously you have an advantage over them.
Right, sure. Well, the first thing I would say to anyone who's looking to come into the real estate business now is to understand that this is not a business of instant gratification. You know, a lot of people have this idea, oh, I'm going to get my real estate license so I can make thousands of dollars on the side. It does not work it that way. I mean, one or two people might be lucky, but for the most part, that is not going to work for anyone. So if that's the reason why you want to come into the business, so that you think you're going to make quick money, this is not going to work for you. So it's so anyone who's tackling this full time, I'm going to say to them is that you must have reserves, must have money put aside, because it's a very competitive market. And this is across the board. This is not just in New York where I am. This is across the board. So you want to make sure that you have sufficient money put aside so that you can survive, unless you have a partner who can carry your weight for you, you know, while you're trying to get on board. So get enough money put aside. That's a must, must, must. Otherwise, it's going to be a financial suicide if you have no money to, if no income is coming in and you have no money to back yourself up. And then I would say also get into a brokerage that works for you. It doesn't necessarily have to be a large one. Doesn't have to, you know, some people work best in a large environment. Some people work best in a small personal environment. So you know who you are, what kind of style you might possibly work for you. Get yourself in that environment and focus on training. You know, just I did a lot of self-training. I taught myself a lot. It wasn't so much about making money. Because I didn't have to for the first 2 years. I was working full time, but do a lot of training, a lot of self-education. Focus less on you know that there's a lot of Facebook groups, for real estate Facebook groups. I would kind of shy away from some of those, because you can get very confused listening to agents from all over the country telling you and advising you on things that is not applicable to your state. So I'm going to say a lot of training, self-training. There's lots of your MLS has, your board has lots of training, and find someone that you can that can mentor you, or you could just shadow. You know, that would be helpful too. I would focus less on trying to make all that money. I would focus on grabbing the information and the resources so that you can make that money. That's why you need the reserves.
Amen. Amen.
Yeah.
Amen.
You know,
Very, very
Janet, you
powerful.
have withstood the test of time. 18 years is quite a long time. And
Yes, it is.
I've seen folks at 20-something years, but obviously you've used your strengths, you know, to where you at for you to be successful. What are some of your strengths and some of your weaknesses?
Okay, so at this point, so my strength is I understand. I think one of the biggest strength that I have is that I understand the role of financing mortgages. I'm by no stretch of the imagination a loan officer, but I know enough to help people get to the point where they need to be to purchase a home. I know how to vet them before I go much further with, you know, working with them. So I try to get educated, and I am educated on, you know, the role of my exterior team, like mortgages, the the attorney, the home inspector. I try to understand all those fundamental things so that when I'm speaking to buyers, they have a tendency to come back to me instead of going back to who they're, you know, the professional. They have a tendency to come back to me because I give them a sense of comfort and maybe break it down into layman's terms so that they can understand. So I'm very good with people. I'm very good with people, and I just really tell it like it is. Some might find it a little tough, but you know, at this stage in my life, I just have to keep it realistic. And so my weakness is I'm not your typical salesperson. I won't hound you I'm not one of those people, you know, they say just, you know, go for it. I won't hound you if I'm not getting the response that I'm looking for, because I feel that there's enough people out there that believe in me and or what my service is. just focus on that. I'm not going to call you 10 times, because you didn't return my phone call. I don't believe in, that the thing that they say, and this is not just for real estate, this is for everywhere, you have to get uncomfortable to move to the next level. I totally disagree with that. I haven't been uncomfortable, and I have gotten to the next level. So I think I just do what I enjoy, and do more of it. I don't necessarily going to do things that's going to make me uncomfortable. That's just my belief, and I've been doing this long enough to see that it does actually work.
Yes, it seems like you focus on service, and when you focus on
Yes,
service, you can't get uncomfortable with that, right?
right, exactly. Whatever my service is, whatever works, it's different for everyone, what they're comfortable with, and they should do. And if it works well for you, do more of that.
Mhm.
Do more of that.
Yes, yes. I love that you say that, and in particular because again, this is Women's History Month, and so we're learning and experiencing through other people's, other women's and men and women's eyes, and that is still very important because when you say that it doesn't make you uncomfortable, in some instances, servicing people make some people uncomfortable. But for you, that's a comfort, and so it's so important to stay in and work within the things that works for you, because then you're not going against the grain. You're going
Absolutely.
into that's naturally who you are. You're passionately caring about people and like to negotiate and like to learn those things. And if that's not your skill set, then maybe focusing on something else that is your skill set, and you can still be good in the business.
Right.
So I love that you recognize who you are and what your benefits and what you bring to your clients, and they're obviously responding. 18 years in the business is really
Right.
Yeah, Janet, last year COVID hit, and that got a lot of people out of the business. How has COVID impacted your business?
Okay, so for me, COVID had zero impact. I was still able to get on. I actually kind of like that period, in the respect that real estate agents were not allowed to go into, I don't know if that's the same in your state, but in New York, for a period of time, we were not allowed to go into homes. And that was just perfectly fine with me. I mean, I ran my business in my PJs. And you have to be really very skillful for people to trust you to do this without you physically being there. I did the buyer consultation. I told them what was, I explained the market and the situation. Many of them started off like, oh no, I'm not going to do this. And like, we're going to do this. You're going to be equipped, you're going to be protected. The market is very, very competitive right now. And while people are shying away, this is your opportunity to try and get that house. And so we did that because buyers and sellers could do what they want. Real estate agents, we were restricted. So I got them into homes. They would go, I would make the appointments. I was allowed to make the appointments. I would make the appointments, and when they got there, they would ask the seller if it's okay if they could FaceTime their agent. And that's what they did, and they walked around the house and with the camera, and I felt like I was walking around the house with them, and I said, oh, I'll do things like, let me see the boiler room again, and even when they got outside, I said, let me see the block, so I could have a good feel of what they were doing. And then if they liked the house, I would make an offer, and if we got it, we moved on to the next level. So I mean, we're still in COVID now, but there was a handful of buyers that I was seeing for the first time at the walkthrough, when the restriction was lifted. I'd never seen these people before. And that other than Zoom, I'd never seen them live before. So it was good for me because I didn't have to worry about being in all these different places. They would just go and FaceTime me. So it didn't have any, so to answer your question again, it had no impact on my business whatsoever. I was busier than ever. What did have impact was, and it was during the same time, was that I had lost my father. And so I was really focusing on, being at the hospital and his doctors and stuff like that. That's what had an impact during that time, but not actually COVID itself.
Well, our condolences to you and your
Thank you.
family.
Yeah, it's almost a year. March 30th will be a year.
Yeah, I remember that time.
Yeah, very hard for me, very hard.
Yeah, most markets around in the country is a seller's market. How do you navigate around being in a seller's market right now, as tough as it is?
Yeah, it's really it's, as a listing agent, no problem. You don't need any skills to be a listing agent. So when agents are out there bragging, oh, I sold this house in 2 days, I'm not really particularly impressed, because it's the demand is so high, you do really need very little skills to list a home. The skills really come with the agent that is working with the buyer, because you have to somehow get your offer accepted amongst 10, 15, sometimes more people, so I really, the first thing I do, I prepare the buyers. So I prepare the buyers. I tell them up front that this is gonna, when we make an offer, this is gonna be a one-shot opportunity. So any decision makers, other than yourselves or yourself, have to be with us. It's not going to be time for bring back mom and dad or your best friend or whoever. Everyone has to be there when we're making this offer. Obviously, the pre-approval has to be in place. We're not going anywhere. I like when I have a relationship with the loan officer, because it helps me when I put the offer together, that I'm telling a story. I'm not just saying this is their offer, this is their down payment, this is the pre-approval. I tell a story with my offers, because I want the listing agent, I want to help the listing agent decide that, wait a minute, this is a real estate agent that knows her stuff. I'm talking about, I'm giving like information like, this is the buyer's credit score, this is their DTI, this is their income. I ask permission to do that, because I have to show that I have a strong buyer here, that this is a transaction that is going to close. So I don't work with anyone who's looking for a needle in a haystack. It's just too difficult. I work with buyers where I feel I stand a chance of getting them into their home, into the price point, into the locations where they want to go. So that's what I do, and it's worked out well for me.
That's awesome. Wow.
Now, do you do anything else other than real estate at this time, at this stage of your life?
Yeah, well, since during COVID, I noticed a lot of startup. There was a lot of business starting up, especially minorities. And I really love that. And because I like to support people that are in a disadvantage doing something good. And I noticed that there was a lot of startups. And so I was thinking, oh, maybe I should do something again other than real estate. And so I thought about it for a little while, and I did actually start. We launched on Martin Luther King Day. I started a business of selling herbal supplements, 100% natural, 100% safe. The company is Jag Naturals, JAG Naturals. And I did that because this is the products are manufactured in Canada, and the manufacturers in Canada. And this is a company that I use to help my mother literally eliminate her diabetes. So my mom's not diabetic anymore. I've been telling people about these products for years. And so, yes, it's really, it's really, African Americans, even Hispanics, really have a serious problem with diabetes, and it's growing. And this is an alternative solution to treat. So I love the products, and I'm working on, getting that out there, educating people that there is an alternative to synthetic drugs that really just suppress the problem but doesn't actually treat it.
Right. That's good. So it's called Jag Naturals.
Jag Naturals. So we're on, we have a website, jagnaturals.com, also on Facebook and Instagram.
Okay, great. So what advice would you give someone who wants to go into the real estate market today?
The same thing like I had said before, just make sure that you have reserves. And reserves could be your partner. If your partner has a steady job and a steady income, just make sure that he has reserves. Don't come into this business looking for instant gratification. That's not going to work out for you. Now, some people are lucky. There's always an exception to the rule, right? But you want to come into this business sensibly, and find a mentor and self-educate. My youngest son told me the other day, which I was really shocked about, that he wants to get his real estate license. So I said, okay. So I said to him, so where are you going to work? So he said, with you, of course. I said, all right. So you may see me in the near future with a young 21-year-old
That's awesome.
conducting real estate.
We're a family business, so we
Yes.
appreciate that. That is
Yeah.
awesome. That is awesome.
Well, my boys are entrepreneurs anyway. He does. He does his own thing as a clothesline. My boys are pretty much entrepreneurs, so I just like encourage that along.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
I think they got it from their mama.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, and my dad was an entrepreneur for a very long time also, so yeah.
So is there anything about the real estate world that concerns you today?
Oh, there's lots of things. I won't talk about all of them, but yeah, there's lots of things that concern me. One of the things that concern me is the African American community. We are not purchasing homes. That's a major, major, major concern for me, because the number one way to build wealth in this country is through real estate, purchasing real estate, because you could do all kinds of things once you have that asset. And we are not purchasing enough real estate. And as a matter of fact, we are back down to, I think it's 1969, or whenever Martin Luther King was assassinated, we're back down to that level. The rate of housing, we're back down to that level. So in New York, for example, only 30% of Blacks own their homes. So that's really a very poor statistic. And so that does concern me. So I do like to try to always encourage people, to make that sacrifice with savings, to watch your credit so that you can purchase. I'm really an advocate for African Americans to purchase more homes. So that's one of the things that really bothers me quite a bit.
And how do people get in touch with you? Just want to make sure we get that information out there, because we're at that time.
They can, the office is my number, which is 646-321-9649. They can call me, they could text me. There's one thing with me, I'll give you the time. I will talk to you. I'm not like just so busy and so important that I can't find the time to talk to you. So you could call and you could just even run an idea by me. I also have a YouTube channel where I try to provide educational information, and that's Janet Nation on real estate. And then I also have a Facebook page, Janet Nation on real estate. So those are different ways that, you could reach out to me. Or you could email me to janetonrealestate@gmail.com.
Yes, well, Janet, 30 minutes went by so fast.
Yeah, it did.
Gonna enjoy it. We got to go, but we'll finish it off just a few minutes here outside of the radio.
Yes,
Right.
And again, you can reach Janet at 646-321-9649. You could actually reach her, call or text her at that number, and you can also find her on YouTube at Janet Nation on real estate.
Yes, the Empowered Lifestyle Radio Show is about a God consciousness that permeates your being on a daily basis. It's about living life to the fullest and bringing out the best in you. Live the life God has intended for you to live and win the day. And as always, we thank you for tuning in to the Empowered Lifestyle Radio Show with George Lopez and the Generation Next Realty team. Move with strength and courage, and be prepared to
win the day.
win the day, win the
Win
day,
it.
win the day.
So we do
For
want to.
the past 30 minutes, you have been listening to the radio broadcast of the Empowered Lifestyle Radio Show with Mr. George Lopez and the Generation Next Realty team. Make sure you stay tuned once again on tomorrow morning at the 8:30 a.m. hour for the same. You're in tune to 1400.
All right. So yeah, I just wanted us to continue the conversation because I do want you said that was one thing that was concerning you about real estate in the world today. And I'm assuming you had a second and third possibly.
Yeah, I don't like agents' behavior, my peers' behavior, in this really, really competitive market. It's you know, just how things are handled in terms of appointments and offers, you know, difficult to get phone calls returned. Communication seems to be best done via text. It's, you know, what frustrates me is you know, a home is listed and you put in an offer and you still have to wait several days for tons more offers to come in and just make everything just more convoluted. I mean, so those kind of things bother me. Personally, if I'm the listing agent and if an offer comes in and it's something that the seller can work with, just move forward with that. Why just keep accumulating offers and getting other agents upset, you know, waiting for a period of time? So go ahead.
Why do you think that is? Do you think is it because the agents? Do you think it's in the? Let me rephrase my question. Do you believe that doing that is in the best interest of the client or in the best interest of the agent from their perspective?
I'm not really quite. I think what happens is that the prices, the offers get more aggressive, and many times these homes don't appraise. You know, so it's an unnecessary confusion. You know, I know you want to maybe have many people look at the home as much as possible, but how much better can an offer get? You know, why just kind of let it just keep lingering on? And then when it doesn't appraise, then we have another problem here, because more than likely the seller's already counted their dollars, you know, what they plan to do with it, and then they have a major disappointment. I would say about 25% of the offers that I put in last year did not appraise. So this it's a problem. So why, you know, you put an offer in, the seller would like to know if you'd like to offer more. No, I already gave you full price. But yes, I do have to play the game and go over 20, 30,000 over, but I already gave you full price. If you wanted more money, why didn't you list it for more? You know, so I just don't understand that behavior. So I find it frustrating. And, you know, what I really think is going to happen is I think we're going to lose a lot of agents. They can't keep up with this competition. They can't make a livelihood. There's not enough real estate. It's a very aggressive business. And if you don't have your ducks in a row, you're just going to fall flat. So and quite honestly, I don't see it changing. I don't know about you, but I don't see it changing no time soon. We're not just suddenly going to have all this inventory, you know. You know, and
particularly in certain markets where there's almost no opportunities for new development. So it is what it is. Yeah.
I have a rental property, for example, in Pennsylvania. Between my phone and letters, and it's nothing special. Right? There's nothing special, but my phone and every week I get at least one piece of mail asking me to sell it. So, you know, we're really in a desperate situation with inventory right now.
Right. So going back to the concern that you have with regard to people of color purchasing, wouldn't that, I believe that's exacerbating the problem for people of color, because if you're a first-time home buyer, you really can't compete at that level.
No, you really cannot. And that's what really concerns me, you know, because most don't have the funds, or they're going to have to take out from their, for example, 401k to get enough to compete with those that have the, you know, a huger down payment. Even, you know, sell and buys are very difficult. Even, you know, yes, you can sell, like I said, there's no rocket scientist to sell in a home. But now when that seller comes to purchase, they're going to be stronger typically than those, you know, because they typically have like a heavier down payment, and even they still have a hard time. It's just really, you know, it's just very, very competitive.
So you believe that there's a segment of the market that's being priced out?
I think everywhere, towns that traditionally were affordable, I'm seeing them asking for amazing prices, and they're getting them. So just real estate in general, home prices are on the up and up, and it's going to get to and incomes are not increasing at the same rate as real estate is increasing. So I think it's going to get to the point where we're going to have certain groups of people that get to the point where they can't afford. So that's why I want, you know, everyone who can to just work on it, get into it now. Interest rates are low. And I'm not just talking about the 2.75. I mean, they've just been low for a few years. When I bought the house that I'm currently in, I think we started off at 7%. So interest rate today are low, and you know, people need to make sacrifices, you know, stop driving those luxury cars, watch those student loans. The student loans will kill everyone. I've seen student loans kill people's opportunity of purchasing a home, or even purchasing the type of home, you know, that they would like, because their student loan debt. And African Americans borrow at a higher rate than any other group, and also default at a higher rate. So you know, so all of these things I try to educate people, you know, on to help them get into a home. So I know I can't save everyone, but you know, where I can, I do. I just encourage them. Okay, just go back to the drawing board. Okay, you've got to fix your credit. You've got to save more money. You've got to, okay, you've got to wait until you're 2 years into this company. You know, I turn them away if I have to with a solution.
Right.
You know, I don't just say, I can't help you. Sorry, you don't have what it takes. You know, and I do this with also the applicable mortgage professional, you know, and we always give them a solution. We don't just like turn them away. And honestly, to be honest with you, especially in the earlier years, about 50% of the business that I got were from people that I sent them away to do their homework, and they came back at a later date and purchased the most amazing homes.
Yeah.
And that makes me feel so good, so proud of them.
Yeah.
You know, when they follow the lead, they do what they're supposed to do, and I make it my business to find them that home.
Amen. That's powerful.
So Janet, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years in terms of real estate?
I think definitely in the next 5 years, I want to be coaching. That's something that I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to help younger agents go on a path that I took or should have took, you know, and just really give them the support that they need. So that's something I've wanted to do for a while, and it's probably something I'm going to start in the next couple of years. I'll still be doing real estate. maybe at that point I'll just only be doing listings because I'm older and I don't know if I could run around much longer. But definitely coaching will be incorporated with that.
Have you ever thought about personal real estate investments, rentals, flippings, and stuff like that?
I own rental properties. Didn't enjoy. I'm down to the last one. So I think going forward, I would flip instead. Because I've been a landlord since 2007, and I know definitely real estate is the #1 way to build wealth. So I tried one thing, and it wasn't something I personally don't want to be bothered with. When the tenant's having a bad moment, and they can't pay, or they're going to only pay partially, or when the phone rings, it's not like, hey Janet, how you doing? Something's broken and it needs to be fixed. I just don't want to deal with that anymore. I would prefer to just purchase a home, flip it, get rid of it, and move on.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for your time this morning. We're going to post in the chat, we're going to post your contact information, how folks can get in touch with you, and feel free to, and we'll also put something there about the JAG Naturals as well. Jenna's going to do that. But thank you so much for your generosity.
Thank you.
Making yourself available to share it with us this morning. I think for those who are thinking about going into real estate, or who are in real estate right now, they're encouraged and informed. And those who are thinking about purchasing or selling real estate, and if you're in the New York area, please give Janet a call. Or if you know someone who's thinking about purchasing or selling in the New York area, give her a call. She is available, and you can tell she's a wealth of knowledge and a wealth of information. And you always want to make sure that you're positioning yourself with the appropriate person that is going to allow you to be successful at whatever your intentions are. And if it's in the area of real estate and you're in the New York area, you should definitely give her a call. Thank you again, Janet, for being with us this morning.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Well, have a great rest of the day.
You too.
Thank you so much. We love you guys.
Happy Women's Month.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Okay then.
All right,
bye-bye.
Take care.
All right.
Bye-bye.